Okay, hello, my wonderful seventh graders. So, today, as you are watching this, it should be 2/23/22. You should be watching this on Wednesday in class. Okay? So, today, what we are going to talk about is we are going to talk about relations. And basically, how do these things all relate to each other? What is a relation? What is a function? What are these things? So the first thing is a relation. What is a relation? Well, a relation is a set of ordered pairs. That's all it is. It's just a bunch of ordered pairs. How we write relations is we make our curly brackets, and then we just have a bunch of ordered pairs. So we could have -1, 5 is one ordered pair. 4, 0 is another. 2, -2, -3. And then 7, -5. This is a relation. It's a bunch of ordered pairs together. That's all a relation is. Okay? Well, we have some examples of a relation. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through and I am going to graph these points. So 0, 3. I don't move left or right at all, but I move up 1, 2, 3. There's that guy. Then I have -5, 4. So backwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then I have -1, -6. So backwards 1, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And finally, I have 4, 4. So forwards 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we go. We have our relation graphed. Okay? So what I want you to do now is I want you to pause this video and I want you to graph number 2. I want you to graph numbers 2's relation. Okay? Now that you've gone ahead and you've paused the video, now you're resuming it to check your answers. Your relation should look like this. So -3, 1, 2, 3, up 1. There's your first point. -2, 1, 2, 0. There's your second point. 3, 1, 2, 3, -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 2, 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So as you can see, there's really no rhyme or reason for these ordered pairs, but it's a relation. They don't have to necessarily have a specific relationship to each other or how they relate to each other. All you're doing is you're graphing them. So then on the next one here, it says, write the relation shown in the coordinate plane. So now what we're going to do is we have to go through and we have to label the points. So first things that I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to label my points here. So I go backwards 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know I have -4 and then I'm not moving up or down at all. So that's -4, 0. Then I go backwards 1 and I go down 1, 2. So this one's -1, -2. Now I don't move left or right at all, but I'm going to move up 1, 2, 3. So this is 0, 3. Then I'm going to move forward 1, 2, and then I move up 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one is 2, 4. And then finally, I move forward 1, 2, 3, 4 spots, but I move down 1. So that is going to be 4, -1. So now that I have my points all labeled, I'm going to just go through, and now I'm just going to write my ordered pairs. So I have -4, 0. -1, -2. 0, 3. 2, 4. And then I have 4, -1. All this is doing It doesn't matter which order you put them in. There really is no rhyme or reason for that. For me personally, and just going through math classes and everything, I always just move left to right on my graph. So I moved with my smallest x, and then I increased to my biggest one. But it really doesn't matter which order you put them in. So what I want you to do now is I want you to pause the video, and I want you to do number 4 and see if you can do number 4 on your own. Okay? Now that you've come back through and you're checking your answers, we are going to go through and label our points. Okay? So on the first one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going backwards 5, so I have -5. And then you went down 4 spots. So you have -5, -4. Then you went backwards 3, but we went up 2, so you have -3, 2. Remember, it doesn't matter. If you didn't start over here, that's okay. Maybe you started over here. Then I move forward 1, 2, 3. Well, I can move up or down. This one's easier because it's just down -2. And then you move forward 3. And you move up 4. And then you move right 5. And then you don't move up or down at all. So my relation here then would be -5, -4, -3, 2, 3, -2, 3, 4, 5, 0. And then my curly brackets. Again, it doesn't matter the order you put them in. You put it in whatever order you want to put it in. I just always move left to right. So that is our relations. That's how we do that and figure that out. Now we're going to move on to functions. And so what is a function? Well, a function is an equation or we can call it a rule that takes an input, and our input are our x values, and generates a single output. And our output is our y. Okay, so what this is saying is I'm going to put an x into some equation, I'm going to do that equation, and then a single answer is going to come back, and that's our output. Okay, so that's what the definition of a function is. So an example of some types of functions would be y equals x plus 2, or y equals x minus 6. Or we could multiply y equals 2x, and then I could add 1 to that. Okay, those are examples of types of functions. So it's saying I would plug x into here, whatever my value is. I would add 2 to it, and then something would come out and give me my y. So think about a function like a machine that takes an x value and produces a y value. The x value is what we call the independent variable, and that is because we pick it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have anybody else that it depends on. I can just pick it. It doesn't matter. It has no relevance on why I picked that number. I can just pick that number. Whereas now the y, though, the y value is called the dependent variable because it will depend on whatever x is. Y will only be a specific number based on a value that we pick for x. It depends on x for whatever that value is. Okay, so this will make more sense now once we flip to the next side here. Okay, so it says function tables. How does this work? Well, what we're going to do is we have our function here, y equals x minus 5. I'm going to do the process. I'm going to write my y value, and it's going to give me some ordered pairs. So this is going to be y equals x minus 5, and I'm going to go through and figure that out. So I'm going to take 0 minus 5. Well, 0 minus 5 is -5, so I'm going to get 0, -5. Okay? Then I'm going to take 1 minus 5 because I plug in whatever x is, and you're going to get negative 4. So I get 1, negative 4. Okay, and I do that same thing for the next one. Oops. So I have 2 minus 5. That gives me negative 3. So I get 2, negative 3. And then finally I have 3 minus 5, and that's going to give me negative 2. So I have 3, negative 2. And that's all you're doing. That's all we have to do to complete a function table. Okay, well, let's look at one. I want you guys to skip down to number 7, and let's do that one. Okay, well, number 7 says y equals 3x. All I'm going to do then is I'm going to take 3 times negative 3. 3 times negative 3 gives me negative 9. So I would have negative 3, negative 9. Okay, then I would have 3 times negative 1, which gives me negative 3. So I have negative 1, negative 3. I'm always going back and plugging into that equation. Then I have 3 times 0, which is 0. So this is 0, 0. And then finally I have 3 times 2, which is 6. So I have 2, 6. So hopefully you're kind of figuring out by now what this process kind of looks like. Okay, well, let's go down. Let's go over to number 8. Let's look at number 8. Okay, so I have y equals 2x minus 3. So y equals 2x minus 3. So I'm going to take 2 times negative 2, which is negative 4, and then I'm going to subtract 3 from that. So negative 4 minus 3 is going to get me negative 7. So my point is negative 2, negative 7. Then I'm going to take 2 times 1 and subtract off 3. 2 times 1 is 2, minus 3 is negative 1. So I have 1, negative 1. Then I have 2 times 3, which is 6. Minus 3 is going to give me 3. So my point is 3, 3. Then I have 2 times 5. That's 10. 10 minus 3 is going to get me positive 7. So I have 5, 7. Okay, so there we go. That's the basics of what we are doing on these problems. I'm going to go through number 9 because number 9 is a little bit tricky with our negatives. But then on the other ones, I'll go through 11, and then the other 3 are going to be optional for you guys to watch, okay? So on number 9 here, I have y equals negative x plus 2. Well, it's super important when we have a negative involved that we are using parentheses. So I'm going to have negative 4 plus 2. Well, I have a negative times a negative, so that's going to cancel out and now give me a positive 4. And positive 4 plus 2 is 6. So I'm going to have negative 4, 6. Now I have negative 1 plus 2. So negative times a negative is a positive. 1 plus 2 is going to give me 3. So I'm going to have negative 1, 3. Well, now I have negative times a positive 2 plus 2. Well, negative times a positive is a negative, so I have negative 2 plus 2, and that's going to get me 0. So I have 2, 0. And then finally, I have negative times 5 plus 2. Negative times 5 is going to give negative 5, plus 2 is going to give me a negative 3. So that's how I have 5, negative 3. Okay, so now that I have that down and I'm good to go on there, I'm going to move down to number 11. And the reason I want to go through number 11 is just because it has a fraction involved. Fractions are not scary. You just have to go through and figure it out. So I have 1/2 x plus 5. So I have 1/2 times negative 2 plus 5. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 divided by 2 is 1. Negative 1. So negative 1 plus 5 is going to get me 4. So I have negative 2, 4. Okay. Well, then I have 1/2 times 0 plus 5. Well, anything times 0 is 0. Plus 5 is going to give me 5. So I have 0, 5. Okay. Then I have 2. So 1/2 times positive 2 plus 5. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. So I have 2, 6. And then finally, I have 1/2 times 4 plus 5. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 plus 5 is 7. So I have 4, 7. And that is that. So that's how we do that. If you are good to go, you're like, I feel confident about this. I am ready to go. I have no issues. You can stop the video and you can go ahead and get your assignment. If you would like to see 2 more examples, I'm going to go through 10 and 12 here really quickly, and then you will be good to go. So on number 10, this time it's just a little bit backwards. So I have y equals 1 minus 4x. Okay. Well, that doesn't change anything. I still have 1 minus 4 times negative 2. I just have to remember this is a negative 4. So negative 4 times negative 2 is a positive 8. So now this is 1 plus 8, which is 9. So then I have negative 2, 9. Okay. And then I have 1 minus 4 times 0. Well, anything times 0 is 0. So I have 1 minus 0, which is just 1. So I have 0, 1. Okay, well now I have 1 minus 4 times 1. Well, negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, so 1 minus 4 is negative 3. And then finally, I have 1 minus 4 times 2. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. 1 minus 8 is going to get me a negative 7. So that's how I'm going to get to negative 7. Okay. Hopefully you're getting through this and this is starting to make a little bit more sense. The last thing that I have going on is I have y equals negative 3/4 x minus 2. Don't let this scare you. This is just 3/4 times 8 minus 2. So 3 times 8 divided by 4, and then it's going to get you 6. Subtract 2 and you're going to get 4. So you're going to have negative 8, 4. Then you have 3/4 times negative 4 minus 2. So 3 times negative 4. Oh, that should have been a negative 8 there. Oh yeah, this is negative 3/4. That's what I'm forgetting. Don't forget your negative. So negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. 12 divided by 4 is positive 3, and then 3 minus 2 is going to get you 1. So you're going to have negative 4, 1. And then you have negative 3/4 times 0 minus 2. Anything times 0 is 0. Minus 2, that's going to get you a negative 2. So you're going to have 0, negative 2. Finally, for the last one, we have negative 3 times 4, negative 3/4 times 4 minus 2. Negative 3 times positive 4 is negative 12. Negative 12 divided by 4 is negative 3. Negative 3 minus 2 is going to get you a negative 5. So that's going to get you 4, negative 5. Okay, awesome. Well, if you are still watching, you've gone through all these examples except for number 6, which number 6 is really easy. You're just adding 2 to all of those numbers, and you are going to go ahead and get your assignment. I hope you guys are having a great week, and I will see you later.